Hey guys, gwyned here, bringing you something a little different. I'm going to be video casting the finals from MPDC 13.06, DarkestNight versus ImSoHawt. ImSoHawt looks like he won the dice roll and has chosen to play first. Um, I can tell you that ImSoHawt is playing tokens, and his opponent is playing some version of Kuldotha Red, I believe, if I remember correctly. So let's see what he did. Oh yeah, Mountain followed by Panic Spellbomb. That pretty much guarantees that that is indeed what he's playing. I don't think any other deck runs Panic Spellbomb. So let's see how this plays itself out here. Alright, so ImSoHawt draws Suture Priest. That's about as good a turn 2 play as you can have for tokens. Very, very powerful. Unfortunately for him, I would imagine Kuldotha Red's not going to have any problem getting rid of that creature. So, yeah, in fact, not only does he get rid of it, but plays a Searing Blaze and hits his opponent for 3 as well. So much for that. Let's see what ImSoHawt can do in response. Oh, interesting. Plays out a Core Skyfisher. Not usually a great turn 2 play, but if he's short of mana, then it makes sense. Sylvic Lifestaff as well. That's going to be really strong. If he can keep that equipped on some creatures, will keep his life total up and allow him to get into the long game. Basically, DarkestNight has got to force damage through as quickly as possible in this matchup. So here he goes ahead and sacrifices the Panic Spellbomb with a Kuldotha Rebirth, draws a card out of it, and gets his 3 Goblin tokens. See if he has a burn spell here to get rid of the Core Skyfisher. Might be waiting here till he tries to equip with a Life Staff. And he doesn't equip, he just goes ahead and plays a Squadron Hawk. So let's see if he in fact does have that 3rd land or not. Looks like he does not, interestingly enough, so that's really going to hurt. So that's a big favor for DarkestNight. Did not have the burn spell at all, or just decided not to use it. So here, I think he has to take an aggressive stance, I would expect. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and swing in with all 3. And ImSoHawt goes ahead and blocks. Let's see if that was a gimme or if he's got a Burst Lightning or a Stagger Shock. Yeah, it looks like Stagger Shock. All right, that makes sense. So now he will trade off kind of a 2-for-1 there, but of course he's a 3-for-1 and created him, so it probably comes out about even. Saves another mana, could have another burn spell at the ready, or just doesn't have anything else to do here. Let's see. Plays out another Squadron Hawk. Presumably he'll go ahead now and equip that Life Staff. Yeah, that makes sense. So now he's got 2 blockers, one of which will get taken out by the Stagger Shock at the beginning of DarkestNight's turn. So let's see here. He will probably go ahead and hit the one that doesn't have the Life Staff, although I doubt it matters because either way that Squadron Hawk is going to go to the graveyard and his opponent's going to get some life out of the deal. But I think DarkestNight has to take a very aggressive line here if he has any chance of winning. He's just got to push through and do the best that he can. All right, so he does in fact block, gets the life up. He's still at a healthy 17. His board is clear, however. He's short of land. It's going to be tough for him to recover. DarkestNight adds a Perilous Mirror as well as a Porcelain Legionnaire. Man, if that doesn't get taken care of really fast, ImSoHawt's gonna be in a world of hurt. So let's see what he has here. A Journey to Nowhere. Okay, that's about the only removal that tokens can bring to the table, so that makes sense. Goes ahead and I guess there's a lot of white removal, but usually, I very rarely see it main deck, so I suppose there's lots of other potential cards. But anyway, so he will go ahead and swing in for 2 here. And then let's see what else he's got. Got all the mana he could ever want for this deck, and it has yet another one and passes the turn. So while his opponent is mana screwed, it appears that DarkestNight is mana flooded. So we'll see how that plays out. ImSoHawt finds the Sylvan Ranger. That'll certainly let him get in some creatures finally, get a little less constrained in his mana, gets out that Squadron Hawk. That may have been a mistake there. If I had been him, I probably would have equipped that Life Staff. I think the life gain is going to be much more important than the marginal gain from having another creature on the board. He just needs to survive until he can run him out of cards. So I think that was probably, yeah, and see now he will play the Kuldotha Rebirth, get rid of the Ranger, have 4 Goblin tokens onto the battlefield, and he's in a much stronger. Oh, and now he has a Goblin Bushwhacker as well. Yeah, ImSoHawt is in now really deep trouble here. So he will go ahead and swing in with the team here, get in for at least 8, cut his opponent's life total in half, and go ahead and clear his only creature from the board. Yeah, he really would have been better off to equip that Life Staff. All right, so let's see what ImSoHawt can pull off here. If he can pull something out, stay alive long enough to survive, And looks like, I'm guessing, yeah, Predator. That's a great start. Gives him some blockers that he's really going to need. Again, doesn't allow him to equip that life staff. Although he could have sacrificed the spawn token to put it on one. Oh, darn. He thought of that, but it looks like he didn't do it till the end of his turn. That really hurts. That's a unfortunate mistake. Not sure if that was a misclick or what the deal was, but that really hurt. So yeah, I think that's going to be almost insurmountable. I can't imagine DarkestNight losing at this point. He finds another Searing Blaze, and yeah, that's pretty much game right there. It's not technically dead, but yeah, leaving him with one life here, and doesn't even lose the Goblin token in the exchange. So yeah, this is pretty much over. DarkestNight is out of cards, but as soon as he draws a burn spell or next turn, I mean, he's got if ImSoHawt finds a creature here, I suppose he can survive because he can equip the life staff. But as soon as he draws a burn spell, he wins. So we'll see what happens, but it's pretty much over, I'm thinking. So looks like he found yet another land, but definitely too little, too late. He will probably die with most of those cards in his hand, if not all of them. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so finds another Predator. Man, if he was going to stay in the game, that would be a good one. Now, here again, okay, this time he's going to do it correctly. Go ahead and equip it into that one. He can actually sacrifice it right now if he wanted to, but of course he probably wants to use it as a blocker. Trying to think how that plays itself out. If he takes damage and then gains it, yeah, I think he has to sacrifice it there because otherwise, I think they hit and then he gains a life, and he would actually go ahead and kill him. So let's see what happens here. So he could swing in for 3. Oh, finds a Bushwhacker. Okay, and that would be good game then. So Kuldotha Red, very quick game there. Swung in. All right, gwyned here, jumping right back in. This is game 2 of the finals for MPDC 13.06. DarkestNight at the bottom is playing Kuldotha Red, and he won game 1. ImSoHawt on top is playing Tokens, and he's down a game. And so we're jumping right back in here. Let's see what happens. Hopefully ImSoHawt this time won't have the mana issues, and we'll have a more interesting game. So far so good. DarkestNight surely has a turn 2 play. Must be a Porcelain Legionnaire. Yep, about as good a turn 2 play as you can hope for in an aggressive deck, especially against Tokens, which doesn't have a lot of removal, but of course does have a lot of bodies they can throw in the way. So let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. No turn 3 play. That's got to hurt. So he will clearly be swinging in here with the Porcelain Legionnaire. I don't think there's any instance that, yeah, I can't imagine that he's playing any instance, even with 3 mana, that would, yeah. So he'll go ahead and swing in for 3 here, and let's see what else he's got to add to the battlefield here. He finds another land. Oh, and has a Crusher's Indicon. Interesting. I wonder, it's kind of an interesting choice to play here. I guess you might as well get the mana out. It kind of ruins the surprise factor, but if you don't have anything better to do with your mana, I guess it's a fine play. Not likely to be removed. So, and finds a Squadron Hawk, which doesn't do really much of anything against either of those. The first strike or the trample makes a 1/1 pretty sad. So, not a great blocker, but it will prevent, I suppose, 3 damage when it blocks the Legionnaire, assuming that's what he does here. It's an interesting choice whether or not to go ahead and block here. To prevent 3, I probably would, but it looks like ImSoHawt chooses not to. Yeah, I think that's a mistake because now he's down to 10. Yeah, so I think that was a mistake, but we'll see what else happens here. Obviously, he got plenty of mana this time, so he should be able to get something out here. Finds another Predator, gives him lots of blockers. So that should help him. Let's see if he's got anything else that could be useful here in this matchup. Thinking. And probably won't attack here. Yeah, go ahead and holds him back. I don't know. He's got 3 blockers versus his 2 creatures. I might have gone ahead and swung in, but that might be greedy on my part. So he goes ahead and gets rid of the Predator. That makes sense because now he can swing in pretty freely. Again, basically same situation. The spawn tokens are a fine blocker against the Legionnaire, but don't do anything really against the manland there. So obviously block with both of the spawns. Could sacrifice them, but again, doesn't really matter. And he's down to 7, so this may even be faster than game 1 the way it's turning out. Finds a 4th land. Surely he's got another play, unless he's just going to hold on to some burn. Yeah, he's got a Searing Blaze, and yeah, that I can't imagine now that ImSoHawt's going to be able to recover. He's got lots of stuff in hand, but he could just draw 2 burn spells and finish it. So unless he's really got something here, this is going to be a very quick game. Let's see, what is this? Okay, casting 2 Squadron Hawks, I guess, and just tapped both of them for some reason. Not sure what that's about. Yep, that looks like that's all he was doing. Maybe that's the only blockers he has, but those basically don't do anything to keep him alive here. I mean, he can do 3 damage. He could double block to kill it, which probably would be the right choice here to go ahead and double block to get rid of the Zendikon. But well, no, because he would die. So and he's got a Blister 6 Shaman. I guess that's game actually, because he can take out that, and he has a guarantee that he'll get in 4 or 3 damage. Let's see, how would that work out? He blocks that one, he dies. He blocks that one, he dies. So yeah, that's definitely game. All right, so that was really fast.